contact between the two of them. Oh, there's contact. There's contact. And there's contact between Shenington and Campbell Pilling.
Good morning and welcome to Shenington for the first round of the 2024 Daniel Ricciardo Series. It is the beginning of a new era for the championship, as this weekend marks the debut of the two Arrive and Drive cadet categories. Yesterday we had a thrilling and unpredictable DRS125 Grand Final. Leo Edger took the honours in that one, and today it's the turn of the DRS35 drivers to feature on the live stream. And we've also got the return of DRS100 as well, our juniors. That category is going to be as hotly contested as ever, and of course our DRS125 seniors will also feature as well. Sam Faulkner is still the benchmark there, but if qualifying is anything to go by, the competition is going to be hotly contested throughout the field. Looks set to be much more intense than last year in our 125s. So we're well set for an absolute cracker all around here today at Shenington. Out on track already in a lightning fast time are the DRS125s ahead of their heat race. So not much of a chance for us to catch a breath here before we get this 125 race underway. And as we have a look at their starting lineup, it is Sam Faulkner on pole, had 2 laps. It was at least 2 laps, may have even been 3 that were quick enough for pole position. We've got a problem coming out of the pits here for Tuscany Groves, who is scheduled to start 9th if she's able to get away as she needs. We're already on to what would be the pace lap here, and they're definitely not going to have a start, so there will be, you would imagine, one more lap, just given how strung out they are at the moment. Although they are just beginning to form, it's not impossible we get a start here, but certainly at the moment not anticipating one, and Tuscany Groves still cannot get away. And judging by her reaction there, one wonders if she will be able to get away at all. It's very disappointing. Out of the kart, and will not be a start for Tuscany Groves, who was set to start 9th. That may, though, help us get a start here potentially, as the group has now just formed up as they go through Wilkins. Sam Faulkner, Ethan Critchley on the front row, Oscar Walmsley-Jones and Charlie Ratford, the DRS100 champion, on the second row. Here we go. And we have a start. And Faulkner comes through the first couple of corners, Critchley in second, side by side for third. Ratford was on the outside heading through Pitts Bend. Oh, a big slide for Faulkner. Did he make the corner? Yes. Wow, that was... Well, there is a spinner. It's not Sam Faulkner, but there was a spinner at the Stratford hairpin down the pack. But wow, how Sam Faulkner held on to that there. He was all sorts of out of shape going into the Stratford hairpin. That certainly was a hair-raising moment for him, as Critchley comes through in second and Oscar Walmsley-Jones in third, with Charlie Ratford right there. Good start for Archie Cole, moving up into 6th ahead of Jack Clayton, who was our top novice in qualifying by quite some distance. And into the Stratford hairpin they go. Faulkner with a 4/10 of second lead over Critchley at the moment. Of course, the DRS125s, this is the category where your tyre wear throughout the course of the day is key, and one of the smart moves to make is to conserve your tyres during the heat races so you have a chance to attack as the day goes on. But don't tell that to Sam Faulkner, he knows it. But it's not going to hold him back for the moment, as he now has a good half a second lead on Ethan Critchley. It's a tight battle for second place, as Critchley, Walmsley-Jones and Ratford are all tightly packed together there. It looks like Ratford is actually the one that's closest to making a move into the chicane. He does pull out initially, but then tucks back in, looking for a run down the hanger straight. Good traction on the exit there for Walmsley Jones, as those second to fourth place runners begin to spread out. I dare suggest there that Critchley has maybe just made up a little bit of ground there on Sam Faulkner. Just the slightest little ground, just a couple of hundredths in it between those two. Further back in the pack, it's Jack Clayton still our leading novice in second, but Finley Anderson is there in 10th. So both our novices here in the 125s putting their best foot forward in the early going. As there's a move for third. And that looks to be Charlie Ratford getting past Oscar Walmsley Jones, going into Wilkins there. You didn't see it on our stream, but we just about caught it on the far side of the circuit out of our window. We don't have the best of views here at Shenington, being that the track, of course, being so long from one side to the other. But we just about managed to catch Ratford there, making that move on Walmsley Jones. Very tidy move up the inside for third place. Ethan Critchley with the fastest lap last time around, but only making up a half a tenth on Sam Faulkner, who is just holding firm at the moment. They complete their fifth lap. And it looks like Tom Snape in fifth place is reeling in Oscar Walmsley Jones. Looks like we may well have a fight for fourth place in a few moments, and Walmsley Jones getting a little bit out of shape into the braking zone. So was the driver behind him, I think it was Archie Cole, that also got a little out of shape. Not quite the same sort of hair-raising moment as what Faulkner had earlier on. As once again they come into Wilkins, and Faulkner on this occasion looks like he may have pulled away slightly from Ethan Critchley as they come across the line. It is indeed a gap of a couple of tenths on that lap that Faulkner managed to pull out. You're watching at the moment the battle for sixth place, as Archie Cole leads Tommy Welsh. Jack Clayton is in that, and so too is Daniel Weir. And by you, of course, mean those of you watching on the stream. Of course, that commentary does go out here on the tannery at Shenington as well, as it does at all of our circuits here on the Daniel Ricciardo Series, as the top five there look to be pretty much matching each other. No more than a couple of tenths in it. Ratford actually the slowest of the top five on that previous lap. And that allows Ethan Critchley to pull out a gap of about 6 tenths on him. We continue to watch the closest battle on track, and not happy there is Jack Clayton with the driving of, actually, is that Clayton? No, the Clayton's actually made up a place there. He's gotten past Archie Cole, who has lost 2 places. Bit of confusion for us in identifying Archie Cole just there, because he has a black plate on the back of his kart. There's a potential move being made there by Clayton now, looking to get by Tommy Welsh in the fight for 6th place as they approach the Stratford hairpin. Welsh, for the moment, will hold on to the place. Just under 2 tenths of a second when they came across the line last time by. Archie Cole looking to regather himself after losing a couple of positions on the previous lap. Meanwhile, Sam Faulkner's lead is now over a second. But Charlie Ratford closes in on Ethan Critchley. Almost a quarter of a second quicker on that previous lap was Ratford than Critchley. And that means a battle for second place could hot up. We continue to watch the fight for sixth on the stream as Tommy Welsh continues to lead Jack Clayton as they go through here. The Bruno chicane now down the hanger straight into hanger corner in Wilkins. Ratford attempts slower than Critchley on that lap, which means that it's now half a second between those two. We have a minute and a half to go, so the likelihood is that we're going to have 2 more laps after this one, at least. Faulkner coming into Wilkins. The top 5 now relatively evenly spread. The driver closest to the one in front at the moment appears to be Tom Snape, and it is indeed, because he is under half a second now behind Oscar Walmsley-Jones. It looked like he was closing in a couple of laps ago, as there's a fight further back. Daniel Weir closing in on Archie Cole. That's the closest battle on the circuit at the moment. It looks as if Tommy Welsh has fended off the attentions of Jack Clayton, because there's now almost 0.8 of a second gap between those two. So 6th place looks as if it will indeed go the way of Tommy Welsh. Sam Faulkner's lead now over 1.5 seconds as Tom Snape moves into around striking distance of Oscar Walmsley-Jones, so it looks as if we'll have a fight for 4th place going into the last few laps here. This will be so 2 laps to go. This the penultimate lap. Sam Faulkner in the clear, dominant as he was in qualifying. But we're watching closely the battle between Oscar Walmsley-Jones and Tom Snape for 4th and 5th. You now see those on the stream. Walmsley-Jones has been taking that wide line through Cafe Corner there for much of the race, and it's going to make him lose out, although Snape there, can he hold the position on the exit of the Stratford hairpin? They're going to go side by side into the chicane, and Snape has to concede the corner, but he might get the up and under going through the exit. Oh, so close to a move, and he is going to get to the inside, and does he get him under braking? Yes, he does. Sam Faulkner, meanwhile, up ahead, comes through to win, and they're going to go side by side for 4th across the line, and Walmsley-Jones somehow gets it back by 4/100ths of a second. Brilliant racing towards the end there between Oscar Walmsley-Jones and Tom Snape in that battle for 4th place. Walmsley-Jones takes it, looked for all the world as if he had lost the position going into Wilkins on the outside. Very, very difficult to pull off a switchback pass going through the exit of that hairpin, but Walmsley-Jones managed to find a way to do it as they cross the finish line side by side. And Walmsley-Jones in the end is the one that ends up ahead, but it's Sam Faulkner that takes the win ahead of Ethan Critchley. Our top 2 drivers from qualifying are our top 2 in the first heat race for the DRS125s, but it's a brilliant 3rd place for Charlie Ratford in his first race, of course the reigning DRS100 champion, moving up to 125s, and he is in the top 3 for his first heat race. But it is Faulkner that takes the honours, as we will take a very short break before we see our first DRS35 heat race.
Yes, please. Do the same as you did last round. Can you three guys hang on here until I've done your tyres, please?
As we are now ready to get underway for their pre-final, the DRS125s, and it was, as very often it has been the case, Sam Faulkner who managed to take the victory. We had a very, very closely fought qualifying session yesterday in this category. Faulkner was on pole by quite some distance, but the gap behind him suggested that we were going to have a very, very competitive day this afternoon. That didn't quite pan out in the heat race. We did have a really good battle right at the very end for 4th place between Oscar Walmsley-Jones and Tom Snape, as Walmsley-Jones beat Snape to the finish line by just 0.043 seconds. It was just a 4/100ths of a second there between those two. Other stories to mention from that race: Charlie Ratford, the reigning DRS 100 champion, he managed to finish 3rd, having qualified in 4th place. So that's a great debut for him, moving up as a champion. And Jack Clayton was in 7th place, the leading novice, and has looked strong throughout the course of the weekend. Finley Anderson did too at one point in 11th, our other novice in the DRS 125s. He was on the fringe of the top 10 throughout the course of the race. I believe he was in at one or 2 points. He's only a couple of positions actually behind Clayton at one point. So a strong showing for both of them, the novices, in this particular category. Another thing to note that has happened since the end of that heat race is the penalty for Archie Cole, who used an unregistered tyre. This is not something that is has necessarily been done maliciously or anything. It's nothing that would necessarily give him an advantage. It's simply an instance of him using what is most likely a mismatched tyre, kind of the sort of thing that you've seen Formula 1 teams on a couple of occasions fall afoul of. Remember George Russell in Bahrain a few seasons ago when he got that emergency call up at Mercedes, being one particularly noteworthy example of that. Most likely the sort of thing that Archie Cole has fallen afoul of there. His penalty for that is that he was classified as the last finisher in that heat race, so in 15th. Tuscany Groves did not start that race, had a mechanical problem while trying to get away from the dummy grid, and so they will form up the back row for this pre-final, which we believe should be getting underway in less than 60 seconds, according to our timing. So we will wait for the likes of Sam Faulkner and Ethan Critchley to lead this field down, and we do indeed get the call to start up the engines, and we will be underway now. Looks like there's a couple towards the back that haven't quite gotten away yet. It's the 337 Finley Anderson was one of those. Couldn't quite make out the other two, but they are all away and will all be able to form up the next time by as we get ready to get this race underway. And of course, the talking point throughout the course of a race day with these DRS 125s always seems to be the tyre wear throughout the course of the day. You are supposed to use the same tyre throughout qualifying and the races here in the Daniel Ricciardo Series, and the effects of that seem to be felt most particularly in this category. And so we will see if that will help shuffle up the order during the course of this pre-finals. More likely to take effect, however, in the grand final, should that occur, as we see the drivers heading down the Hanger Straight. They look to be a little bit quick at the moment, although Andy isn't over there looking to give any signal to slow, so we should be all good on that front. Looks like we may be having one or two glitches with the... No, we are back as we should be on the stream. I was wondering if that was a problem on my side with the TV. Anywho, here we go. Race underway. Faulkner is going to get through into the first corner first, and Critchley holds the position on the outside of the first corner to get the inside through Cafe Corner, and that looks to be Charlie Ratford in third. It's an interesting one. We can't actually see the back plate of the driver that's running in third place at the moment. We understand it is Ratford. We will, of course, get the confirmation when we see them come around at the end of the first lap and we see the timing screens. It's actually showing Ratford in second place at the moment. I believe he may well have just nosed ahead before the finish line as they took the start. As here they come to complete the first lap. And no, it's Ratford actually that has moved up to second place during the course of that first lap. We saw Critchley exit Cafe Corner in second, but clearly there has been a move there. And through they come around the Stratford hairpin. So Charlie Ratford for the first time today set sights on a position that was very, very familiar to him last season. But the challenger Sam Faulkner might well be greater than anything he saw in the DRS100s last year. As great as Jack Robinson and co were, there's just something about Faulkner's inevitability, shall we say, as Critchley is very wide on the exit of Cafe Corner, but he gathers it up well, and he's under pressure from Tom Snape in fourth, who has gotten ahead of Oscar Walmsley-Jones to start this race. Snape there actually showing a contact warning on the screen as he looks for a move on Critchley, who did not get a good run there out of the Stratford hairpin. And through the Bruno chicane they come, and once again Snake looks like he's got a good run. Critchley just struggling for traction at the moment, and Snake does get to the inside, and under braking, well, it's actually Critchley that's better on the brakes that time, heading into the Wilkins hairpin as they come around to complete their third lap. Faulkner with just under an 0.8 of a second lead on Ratford, who has pulled out a gap to Critchley, who, as we mentioned a moment ago, does seem to be struggling to get out of those slow corners. And Tom Snape once again looking to attack. He's not quite gotten the same run out of Stratford as he did on the previous lap. And here they come around to Wilkins once again. Faulkner building a gap slightly. It looks to be perhaps just slightly bigger than it was on the previous lap. We'll see. Yes, it is by 1/10.5. As Ratford now leads by just over 0.9 of a second. As we continue to watch the fight for third place between Ethan Critchley and Tom Snape. Critchley looks as if he's gotten himself sorted from some of the issues that he encountered a couple of laps ago, where he really just seemed to be struggling for traction and for grip on the rear. But now he's beginning to reel Ratford back in. Gap between them as they come over the line is going to be 0.4 of a second. As past our commentary position they come once again. Nobody making any kind of moves for the moment. But it looks like we might be heading towards a three-way battle for second place, with Sam Faulkner now opening up a lead of 1.2 seconds, and Snape has a good run this time on Ethan Critchley, who gave Snape the inside previously when Snape looked to make a move going into Wilkins, and he does so again, but Snape this time is a little bit closer on the exit. Critchley very good under braking, it seems. As through Cafe Corner they come once again. It's a lovely low shot that we get there. Just around, looks like the camera position there, just around Pitt's Bend, that really gives you a sensation of speed from these DRS125s. As Faulkner has extended his lead to 1.5 seconds, you would imagine it will be bigger towards the end of this lap, and Critchley's looking ready to make a move, and he does make a move on Ratford, but it looks like he's outbraked himself there, and indeed Ratford does get the up and under to move into second place, and it almost gives Snape the chance to get a move into the first corner, but he thinks better of it and tucks back in. And there they come first, second and fourth, and of course one of the beneficiaries of all this battling is going to be Oscar Walmsley-Jones in behind. Critchley with a pretty good run out of the Stratford hairpin that time. And they come through to the chicane, and now there's just 2 seconds covering second to sixth. Tommy Welsh is hanging on to Oscar Walmsley-Jones. And leading novice, meanwhile, Jack Clayton in 8th place. He's looking to hold off Archie Potter and Archie Cole, who has come through the field well following his penalty after the first race, where he was caught using an unregistered tyre. As Faulkner's lead is now over 2 seconds, and Ratford with a back stepping out as he goes through the Stratford hairpin. That's going to allow Critchley the chance to get right on the back of him. You just wonder if maybe this is the first sign of the tyres crying enough for Charlie Ratford. Looks like Critchley is going to line up a move. No, he doesn't go to the inside this time. Of course, outbraked himself on the previous lap when he tried to make that move going into Wilkins. 2.5 minutes to go. Ratford certainly good through this part of the lap. And then he comes into the hairpin, and this is where Critchley has struggled earlier on, but he seems to have sorted out any issues he had with traction earlier on. And they're pretty even Stevens, second to fourth now, and Walmsley, Jones and Welsh are just hanging around, just looking to pick up the pieces if anything does go wrong for the three in front. Critchley taking a bit of a wider line through Cafe Corner there, and it gives him a good run towards the Stratford hairpin, and he gets a pretty good run through it too, but Ratford has just enough pace to hold the position for the moment. Ratford looking back, so too does Critchley. Critchley might be in position to make the move here, but Ratford very good on the brakes. He's a little wide, however, coming out of Wilkins. It's not quite a move on for Critchley. I think his best bet is going to be either through or at the exit off the hairpin, and actually he's got Snape all over him now, and Snape looking to make the move down the inside, and he's going to get it going into the Stratford hairpin, and of course that's going to force Critchley out wide. He's going to be compromised on the exit with Oscar Walmsley-Jones right behind him, and Snape looks like he is going to be the one that will benefit here, as he now will look to try and line up Ratford. We'll see the replay of that on the screens right now. Meanwhile, live at the circuit, we'll just turn and see what's happening over at Wilkins as Snape really begins to reel in Ratford. Ratford pulled out a little gap, but that's virtually disappeared already. Faulkner, meanwhile, is well in the clear. He's some 3.5 seconds clear as they come past our commentary position, and it is now a 5-way battle for second place on what will be the penultimate lap. Snape moves to the outside. That's good defending there from Ratford. Snape looking for the up and under. But Ratford doing a really good job of holding his line through the hairpin. Now through the chicane they go. Does Ratford have the grip on the exit? He shows Snape the outside. Can Snape find the way to the inside? No, he can't. Sweeping around the outside is going to go Critchley. And they go side by side. And for a moment there, it looked like Critchley was going to take both of them. Now Wormsy Jones is looking for a move. They're side by side to abreast. And Wormsy Jones makes up a place. And Ratford has gone down to 5th. And now moved to the outside, and that's Wormsy Jones looking for looking for third, excuse me, on Ethan Critchley. Just trying to see, so that is Ratford there in second place. Yes, it is. As Critchley fends off Tom Snape to the checkered flag. So yeah, Critchley did not lose those positions. Ratford did not lose those positions. He's going to come across the line in second. Wormsy Jones in the end moved up to 4th. So he did get a position initially, but then lost it later around the final lap. And so it ends up Charlie Ratford in the end holding on to second place, having made the move earlier on in the race on Ethan Critchley, who in the end gets third back from Oscar Wormsy Jones, as Sam Faulkner in the end was well clear of all of them, almost 5 seconds up the road. In the end, it's a 4.7 second gap between Sam Faulkner and Charlie Ratford, as once again Sam Faulkner is looking for another clean sweep here in the DRS125s. He's gotten the pole, won the heat, won the pre-final. Will look to make it a perfect weekend in the grand final coming up shortly. Next up for us is going to be, I believe it's our DRS35s. So schedule changes after lunch. Yes, it is DRS35s to come up next.
Oscar was trying to say, so then you pulled away a little bit after it, and took away and took Tom again. Coming out of turn 2, so quick. It's like, I couldn't get on the power quick enough. So I couldn't say up for her at all.
You made one mistake, what you went from third to 4th on the
Oh, no, I didn't take anything. I said it was wrong. What a mistake, isn't it?
But it looked like you went, your line was something else.
Back for our DRS125 Grand Final, and we'll be almost ready to get underway. They're forming up a little bit late. Just a little bit of news we've just had from the office downstairs. 139 of the DRS100s, Henri Pomerandor, being put to the back of the race results just now for not having one of the exhaust related devices on his car, the exhaust wadding on his car, and that's why he has been put to the back of the results. We are underway in this grand final for the 125s as Sam Faulkner leads them around. And they set a furious pace going down towards the hairpin, and Ritchie for a moment was looking as if he was trying to make a move there. But not to be, as there's an incident further back. That's number 9 and 337. That's going to be Finley Anderson and Jake Woodrow back there, as they go through towards Wilkins for the first time. And it is Walmsley Jones that's looking closest to making a move right now, as he shapes up a move on Ethan Critchley the second. Critchley holding the position through Cafe Corner, as there is a flag out. And one of the drivers not gotten away from that incident at the Stratford hairpin, and that means we do indeed go full course yellow. The Battenberg's out, and so we will slow the pace. That driver did get away just before the leaders got around to the Stratford hairpin, although just judging from, so there is another kart out there. We couldn't see that from our window. It is the 335 that is stopped out on circuit. That's Thomas Dackins there. So it looks as if, I can't quite tell from there. I can't tell if the way that the number 9 spun backwards there almost leads me to believe that Dackins hit him, just looking at the trajectory of those two drivers. But it is also entirely possible that Woodrow simply spun and collected the 335 of Dackins there. Pretty hard for us to tell what happened on that one. We did not get the best of views. We do not go back racing as of yet. Of course, we wait for the 335 kart of Thomas Dackins to be cleared. And with any luck, we will go back to racing next time by. So there is that kart being removed. And we had, looks like a non-starter there as well. Is that the 298 of Cole Watt that we can see? Yes, it is indeed. So a couple of exits already in this DRS125 Grand Final. You don't normally associate the Daniel Ricciardo Series with attrition, but already a couple of karts out. And a couple of days, unfortunately, ending early. We are about ready to get this one back underway. Sam Faulkner will lead them back to the green flag, and we will see how much the tyre wear is going to be a factor here this afternoon at Shenington. Faulkner comes back around. Don't see any indication that there's going to be a green flag, and so we will continue on once again. It looked as if the incident site was cleared back there, so there must be something else going on somewhere around the circuit, or something that is not immediately obvious to us that the Andy and Co are not happy with. And there you see the Battenbergs out as Sam Faulkner continues to lead them around. Ethan Critchley is second, Oscar Walmsley Jones is third. Our timer, meanwhile, ticks down to the 8-minute mark. So anybody who was struggling with tyres is... this is going to help them, for sure. Jack Clayton, of course, our leading novice, he is in 7th place at the moment. That's where he managed to finish in the heat. He's been comfortably inside the top 10 throughout. As we come back round, green flag is in the starter's hand and we're ready to go again. And Faulkner did get the best of getaways there. And here we go, move potentially to turn 1 and Faulkner gets loose. And Critchley going for the lead around the outside. And he's going to get hung out to dry. And now side by side for second as Walmsley Jones looking to take advantage. And he gets it going through the Stratford hairpin. They're still going to be side by side. Have to wonder, will Race Control be happy with the way that Faulkner held his line there and pushed Critchley wide? We'll see if there's anything. There's nothing come up on the screen yet in regards to that. Side by side they go for, I believe that's 4th place there, and so that's Snake going to get ahead of Ratford then. So Ratford 5th. And 6th place Tommy Welsh, and they're in close contact with the exception of Sam Faulkner. So here is that restart. So Critchley went up the inside going into turn 1. They both got a little bit loose. You can see them both, Critchley in particular, fighting the wheel, and then Faulkner really holding the racing line. And let's see, Critchley, yeah, all 4 wheels over the white line. That'll be, of course, the unfortunate thing there is that out on the circuit you don't get the benefit of those replays. So it's very, very difficult to make that judgment call. Faulkner, as it is pulling away, has an 0.8 of a second lead, and it's Oscar Walmsley Jones that is in second at the moment, in 3rd at the moment, and closest to taking second. Tom Snape is right there too. Tommy Welsh dropping back a little bit into the clutches of Charlie Ratford, who is there making a move. You just saw him in the back of the picture there as they went through Wilkins. It looks as if Ratford, yes, he did take the place. Critchley able to match Faulkner on that previous lap, so Faulkner not exactly completely clear yet. So here comes the move from Snape on Walmsley Jones. He takes 3rd place. Tom Snape gets the move done, going through the Stratford hairpin. Through the chicane they come. And Walmsley Jones now looking to shape up for a repass as we go in towards Wilkins. I dare suggest that Faulkner's lead has come down a little bit here. It's virtually the same. There's a 100th of a second in it between Critchley and Sam Faulkner. Tom Snape, having taken 3rd, is now having to fight to keep hold of it as Walmsley Jones looks to have regathered himself and now looks quicker than the man that just passed him. And in the picture there is Ratford, who of course was 2nd in the pre-final, 3rd in the heat. It's almost certain that he's not going to make it 1st in the grand final. Of course, if he did, because he qualified 4th as well, so it would be quite some symmetry indeed if he were to get up front, but that's realistically not going to happen from here. Mechanical flag out for Finley Anderson. That's a 337. We saw him running well enough just a moment ago, so there's obviously something loose on his kart or something along those lines that we didn't quite see when we saw him come past us on the previous lap. As the lead for Sam Faulkner now is a 2nd as he sets the fastest lap and goes underneath a 43.5, 43.491 for him. As we see him move there, and that's Ratford trying to get past Walmsley Jones, and that might let in, it does let in Tommy Welsh. Can Ratford hold it around the outside? No, he can't. Welsh takes the place, although Ratford's going to try and take it back through Cafe Corner. Yes, he did hold it around the outside after all. The camera angle a little bit deceptive there. We were better looking at our window to see whether or not Ratford would hold that place, and indeed he ended up doing so. Tommy Snape dropping back now from Ethan Critches. There is Anderson in the pits. Finley Anderson responding to that flag that he was given. 2.5 minutes to go. Faulkner, Critchley keeping him honest. The lead still just over a second now. And Tom Snape just over a second behind him. The closest battle now is the 4th place between Oscar Walmsley-Jones and Charlie Ratford. Ratford, of course, holding on to the position in that battle with Tommy Welsh on the previous lap. Welsh looking a bit closer to the ultimate pace than he has done for most of the day. He's been in and around that 6th place most of the day, but this is the closest he's been to those in front of him that have been fighting for the podium places throughout the course of the day. As Ratford goes to make a move, and he does make the move this time on Oscar Walmsley-Jones, but Walmsley-Jones gets the up and under. Ratford with a good piece of driving there, just parks himself on the exit there and leaves Walmsley-Jones with nowhere to go. Past us they come once again, as you see the replay of that move from Charlie Ratford. Textbook move into Wilkins. As Sam Faulkner once again takes another couple of tenths out of Ethan Critchley, in that lead now 1.2 seconds. And it looks as if the big battle now is going to be for 3rd place, as we have just over a minute to go. So we should be starting, this would be 3 laps to go effectively at the start of this lap. Although they did just knock off a little bit of time there. Here they come past us once again. And Welsh looks like he's the closest to making a move here. As we see the field coming through on the stream there. Jack Clayton still our leading novice in the class. He is, however, back down in 10th place. It's still a strong placing for him by all means. We've been a little bit higher throughout the course of the day. Now they put time on the clock and then take it back off again. So either way, it'll be 2 laps to go from here. Good battle there for 7th place, being led by Archie Cole ahead of Archie Potter, and then Jack Clayton, we mentioned a moment ago, he's actually just moved up ahead of Daniel Weir for 9th place. Looks like Ratford is now clear of Tommy Welsh and will look to challenge Tom Snape for the final step on the podium. And there they are on the stream now, and that's Ratford ahead. Ratford must have gotten past him going into Wilkins. We didn't catch that one. Didn't look as if he was in striking distance. I wonder if maybe there was a slight mistake there potentially. As Tom Snape looks to get right back on things as we are now on the last lap. Sam Faulkner coming out of the chicane and well on his way to the victory. And Ratford looks like he's going to hold 3rd, so it will be Sam Faulkner to take the win, and he does indeed complete the clean sweep here in the DRS125 round 1 here at Shenington. Ethan Critchley is 2nd. He's been keeping Faulkner honest through the entire day. 2.2 seconds the gap between them at the finish. And Charlie Ratford in the last couple of laps completing what has been a great step up in his first weekend, moving up to DRS125. He takes 3rd place from Tom Snape in the last couple of laps to get himself a podium finish. Tom Snape in the end in 4th. Tommy Welsh moved up ahead of Oscar Walmsley-Jones in the end, and he finishes 5th, and that's a great result for him. And Archie Colson, leading novice in the end, was Jack Clayton in 8th, Archie Potter in 9th, and Daniel Weir in 10th, as Clayton made up those 2 places there in the last couple of laps. And so that wraps up our DRS 125 action for this afternoon, and just one more race to go, but it's going to be our DRS 100s, and if they can produce something like what we saw in their previous race. It's going to be a magnificent one indeed. Stay with us. Welcome to the podium presentation for round one of the 2024 Daniel Ricciardo Series here at Shenington. It's been an absolutely fantastic day on such a huge day for the championship as well, and that's why Andy Cox is next to me. Just to remark on first and foremost, obviously huge success with the DRS45 and 35, the two arrive and drive categories making their debut this weekend. Your thoughts on that, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been involved. It's been a lot of work to get everything together. Not only, as you say, did we have the new arrive and drive 35 and 45, but we also had the introduction, obviously, of a new power unit for the 100 and 125s in the B&B. So they both won the races today. So that's the future for us moving forward, as is the 35 and 45. Lots of new drivers coming along, really close racing. Karts were fantastic. So yeah, and the commentator wasn't too bad either. So it's all good.
All's well that ends well. Thank you, Andy. We will now start with our podium presentations, and we'll start with the DRS35s. How much they impressed today. That photo finish was truly tremendous. And we'll first go with our third place driver, who was Marcus Galanis Sinai. And in second place, Jacob Kent. And our winner, triumphant in that photo finish in the heat and managing to get the win in the grand final, was Zach Jennings.
Well done, everybody.
And now we go over to our DRS125 podium presentation, and we'll first begin with our top novice driver, Jack Clayton. And of course, Jack will stay on the podium alongside our top three overall finishers. And in third place was Charlie Ratford. In second place was Ethan Critchley. And our winner in the DRS 125s was Sam Faulkner. And now finally time for our 100 presentation. And our top novice driver was Josh Mills. And now for our overall top three in the DRS 100, starting with our third place finisher, Liam Karabelov. Snatching second place right at the very end was Dorian Malik. And our winner with probably the hardest earned clean sweep you'll ever come across was Freddie Farrell. And thank you all for being with us here for round one of the 2024 Daniel Ricciardo Series. What an excellent set of races we've had, not just today, but also for the DRS45s yesterday as well. That is it for us from Shenington. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time at Rissington.